Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television, and we have our very special coverage connecting the Ocala-Marion County area to the Kentucky Derby. We love to do shout outs for our locals, and it's certainly very important where the horse had its training. So as we start this coverage, we're here at Whisper Hill Training Center, and I have Todd Quast here with me. This training center is actually owned by Mandy Pope, who is an icon. I am a huge fan of Mandy Pope's and love to follow her, and have enjoyed watching her support of Tapit for a long time. She's a huge Tapit fan. So talking about Tapit Trice seems very appropriate. Todd, thank you for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to be here.
I'm a huge fan of yours, have been for years, and a huge fan of Mandy Pope. So it's really an honor here to be at this training center where really so many incredible horses have had their start. So share with us a little bit about Tapit Trice.
Thank you. Yeah, early on, I mean, we bought Tapit Trice at the sale in September, and he was in the Gainesway consignment. And we have a lot of mares there now, so we had seen him a few times prior to the sale, and he was always big, strong, good-looking individual with a great mind. And Brian Graves always touted that he was one of the better horses. But, you know, you get to the sale, you see everything else, you compare. I remember he had a little foot abscess.
That's
he had
right.
a plate on the front that we were, and again, with our faith and belief in Brian, we were comfortable with that. And so, you know, we started rolling, and that was a year where Jacob West was buying a lot of horses for Rapoli. They were buying almost all the colts. We'd been outbid on a couple, and Mandy and I both had kind of figured out this was the one we wanted. So we went strong, had to go a little stronger than what we thought the horse was going to be worth, but they're worth what they are at the sale, and we're very, very happy to have it now. So, but early on,
he was a 1.3 million.
he was 1.3 million. So, and when you buy a colt, you get a little concerned. And then Anthony Beck was there with Brian, and they asked if they could stay in, you know, for 25%. So we were very happy to have that, and that just gives you that much more confidence, you know, that about the horse and about the ability. And you know, they stand Tapit, and he's getting a little older, so they're obviously looking for an heir apparent. So hopefully, knock on wood, he could be the one.
So Tapit's had some incredible winners, but not had a Derby winner yet. So wouldn't that be wonderful if Gainesway, having Tapit, standing Tapit, stayed in with this horse, got their Derby win?
It would be amazing, you know, and they're so excited because they are a commercial breeder and they have some horses, but they don't stay in with a lot of them in training. So it's great to go along with them and have them. And you know, if they offer enough for the other 75%, maybe if he's a stallion, maybe he will stay in the games. We'll just see. We'll see how that. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But no, it's awesome. Again, back to what you were saying about Mandy and Tapit, is she's been a huge believer in Tapit from day one, and sometimes it takes some time, you know, especially these really good mares, big mares. They'll produce some, and then sometimes even through their daughters, you know, they come through, and you know, she stayed true to Tapit, and between Charge It last year and we need to get rolling even more this year, and then coming back with Tapit Trice, it's exciting times, and then he's turned out to be a pretty good broodmare sire as well. So I think we have like 16 or 17 Tapit mares. So we have, hopefully, this is the tip of the iceberg of where we're going. Hopefully.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. So when you first had Tapit Trice and here on this track, kind of thought he was, you know, alongside the others, looking pretty good. But then once he started kind of going the distance and the 3/8, and you started to really see him excel.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about his stride and his build.
Right. I mean, you know, for the Tapit, sometimes they can be a little hot. He was a very cool customer, very laid back, very relaxed. We were lucky at this time, we had a Tapit out of Stop Charger Maria, Shopper's Revenge, who was 4th in the Louisiana Derby. We had some other Tapits that, you know, they were maybe a little more high-strung. Silver Heist was another one. But he was very laid back and kind of the cool kid in the group. And so early on, when you win an 1/8 of them, all right, 12-1 or 2 or 3, you know, it wasn't very impressive, whatever. And he would look at the other horses, but once he stretched out and we actually squoze him and put a little pressure on him, that's when he said you could see the competitive juices coming. And then we got out to half, it was like Katie bar the door. He's really, you know, and he needed to keep on going, but he kept getting better. So he didn't show a lot of that early speed, but the thing that you saw was his stride was 6 or 8 inches longer than other horses. And when he he had the efficiency of that and what he could overcome, it was exciting. And that's why he was a type of horse that had Todd Pletcher written all over him. I thought he would thrive on that kind of program and do it, and luckily he has. So we need at least one more, though, in a couple Saturdays from now.
That's right.
One more would be very nice.
That would be fantastic. So kind of having him right now in the second slot of popularity to Forte, who kind of all eyes on Forte. it's got to be pretty exciting to be in. And to me, that's a win, you know, whether he happens to cross the finish line or not in May. But it's pretty exciting to be in this spot, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you can't take anything away from Forte being a 2-year-old champion. You know, then they come back and they, you know, it's been maybe since Street Sense that I can remember that, you know, that's one's run well and then come back and doing as good as he's doing. So nothing, he's a deserved favorite and all that, and he can take all that pressure along with it. And, you know, we have the same trainer, you know, we've trained alongside him. I don't think we've ever breezed against him, but so hopefully the first competition will happen, you know, on the first Saturday in May. We've been able to, having horses with Todd, we've been able to point to spots where we knew the other horses were going to go. And there's been other horses that had, you know, Todd won the Sam Davis and decided not to take that horse against Tapit Trice in Tampa. So, you know, having horses with Todd, you know, his organization is fantastic. His people are great, but you get a little bit of luxury of that where these two haven't had to face each other yet. We've been able to develop Tapit Trice, and luckily the allowance race was awesome this year. The Tampa Bay Derby was very good. We learned 3 race lessons in that race, and then he comes back and he does what he did in the Bluegrass, which was much more professional. If we move forward again, I think it could be very scary.
So from Todd to Todd.
Yeah, we've done that for a lot. When I worked for Wayne Lucas, Todd Fletcher worked for him also. So we started that way, and I think he went out on his own in '96, and I didn't leave Wayne till '01. But yeah, so we're doing Todd. So when we say Todd, we have to say which Todd.
Which Todd? Yeah, from Todd to Todd. That's fantastic.
No, but it is super. Yeah, it's super nice to be. He's got such a great organization and group, and I think we do too. You know, we have people. We have people here that like Lee Guerrero's been with me for 31 years, from back at the beginning of Wayne. You know, and you know, the group that we've had here, Alonso and the riders, you know, it takes that whole team, and Mandy realizes that. And then again, for Mandy, it's just huge because it's all coming. It took some time, but it's all coming out now. So it's very exciting for her and for us, and we're glad to be a part of it.
Amazing.
For sure. Yeah.
So on my bucket list is meeting Tapit Trice, but even more so on my bucket list is meeting Mandy Pope. So
well, hopefully we will make both of those happen in the morning, but hopefully even more importantly in the winner's circle on
That's
Saturday.
right.
Yeah,
yes.
That would be even a better.
That would be amazing.
Reading, so absolutely.
Any last words, Todd, about the upcoming Kentucky Derby?
You know, I think as it always is, I think it's a very good group of horses. You know, I think now with the point system, you've got very now horses, so it makes it even more and more competitive, which I think was the plan of the point system. You know, we have a tall task in front of us, you know, because we are come from behind, and we're going to have to find a trip and do that. But you know, this horse, funny story, when we were at Tampa, my son, Colton, we went to the barn that morning, and he's holding the horse, and there was a picture of a number of 87 above his head. And I showed him the picture, and he said, "Dad, that's 87. I said, "Yeah, what?" He said, "Well, that's Gronk." He's a football fan. He said, "That's Gronkowski, you know, who played for Tampa and who played for the Patriots." And I said, "That's exactly how Tapit Trice has to run. He has to run like Gronk." And it's so funny because that's what happened. And he's winning. And that's what I think that's what's going to have to happen in the Derby. He's going to have to take some adversity. He's going to have to overcome some things. But I think he's the type of horse that has, and he's been doing that. And that's what you want to do coming into the Derby. So exciting times. So happy for Mandy and for the whole team and program. And a little bit of luck. Hopefully we can get there. Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Todd Quast here at Whisper Hill Training Center, and I can't say how excited I am. I would love to see this horse make it over the finish line in the Kentucky Derby first, and love to see Mandy Pope, who I cannot think of anybody, honestly, in the racing world who deserves that more. She has contributed so much to racing. She's contributed so much to Marion County. We're so glad that she has her training center and her farm here. And we're so proud of how far this horse has come. So we're definitely going to be watching him. He's going to have some tough competition. There's a deep field, there's some great horses, but we'd love to see Tapit Trice in the winner's circle. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television.